Hey everyone. I'm going to see maybe if anybody wants to join us today. I'm going to talk about some picture books that really have changed the way that I have taught. I know it's kind of early. I thought maybe I would do this from school. It's just easier than doing it from home. There's a lot of distractions at home. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get started. Today I'm going to talk about these picture books that I have come up with and found through digging through lists and libraries and any place I can find bookstores for hours and hours on end, reading picture books that would be a quick introduction to a comprehension skill. But I decided to take that one step further. What I decided to do was go ahead and try to find a picture book that had some kind of meaning connected to what the skill was that we were teaching. For years, I've been a reading specialist for about 8 years now, and what I found was that I was having a difficult time getting my kids to actually connect to comprehension or even really understand what comprehension meant. So I went ahead and I found out that I could really teach them a lot easier if I used something that really connected to them. So if you've ever heard of the Beanie Baby strategies, that was one thing that I used with my kids that I found was like probably the most powerful thing ever. Because once they saw those Beanie Baby strategies for decoding, they could remember the skills and they could do them. And I know that seems kind of quirky and kind of odd, and Beanie Babies are outdated and everything, but the kids really connect to those animals. So I started taking that idea and transitioning it to comprehension. And since I teach kids that are struggling to read anyway, I needed something that was fun. So, and something easy to remember, kind of a mnemonic device approach. So what I did was I found some picture books that had really started teaching me how to go ahead and find out how I could use those books to actually teach them to comprehend. So let's go ahead and dig in. All right, I'm going to flip this around a second. One of the things that I did was I went in and I started looking at different resources, and I found so many things like on Teachers Pay Teachers and other places that would help me what are some good books to teach comprehension with? So I looked at the basic skills that I thought struggling readers needed to know, and I found out that there were probably about 8 things that struggling readers needed to really know how to do in order to clearly comprehend. So one of the things that I came across by accident was this book called Interrupting Chicken. And this book actually changed the way that I teach comprehension because it made me look at picture books in a whole new way. So what I did was I read the book to a first grade group. I was invited as the reading specialist to come in and share a book with them. So I tried to find something new and I saw it. It was cute. I picked it up and I read the book when I was at home, and I thought, wait a minute, this whole thing I've seen online where people were using the book to teach kids to not interrupt when someone's reading to them. Well, that's kind of what I want my kids to do. I want them interrupting me when I'm teaching. I want them thinking about what I'm teaching and telling me if they're understanding it or not. So I went ahead and I read that book to the class, and then I came back to my room and went crazy. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I could use this book to teach kids that when we're listening to books, when we're reading books, when we're hearing books on tape, whatever, we should be thinking. We shouldn't just be sitting there quiet with our hands folded in our laps. We should be interacting with what's going on. So I came up with this whole lesson on interacting with the text, and you can find that at my blog. My name is Jenny, by the way. I know this is my first scope. I haven't really gotten into this yet, but it's linktoteach.com. And I have the whole lesson explained there, and I even videotape my kids showing you how I taught this to them, because sometimes it's just really hard to know how to use other people's lesson plans. So I thought what I would do first is I would just walk you around and show you how I put these things in my room and kind of intrigue the kids with them before we actually use them. And I have 2 sections to my room. One is for decoding strategies and one is for comprehension strategies. So I'll show you a little bit how I got that to finally work out this year. And then I've got some other cute things I can show you too. But today I just want to focus on those 8 books that actually have helped me to teach my kids comprehension skills. So I'm going to flip the screen and show you what they are. Up above my windowsill, I actually placed the books in a little gutter shelf, actually, and I've got the books all along there. There are 7 strategies that stay up there, and then I've got one special strategy that has a special place because it's kind of an overall strategy. The first strategy I have is Retelling Parrot, and the book that I use for that one is Rose's Parrot. Now, I named the strategies Beanie Baby strategies because I wanted them to actually have a connection with the kid, kind of like the decoding strategies did. So with the Retelling Parrot, this story actually lends itself to how do you retell a story? And in the story, you know, the parrots repeat. I even have a parrot, I'll zoom in on over here. I have a parrot up here that actually will repeat what the kids say. So that's basically the beginning level of comprehension, is can you recall or remember what you read? And then we move on to the next one. I've got kind of a bit of a glare, but I'll show these to you later. I have Questioning Owl, and I have this cute little story, which the pictures tell the whole story basically, but it's Little Owl's Orange Scarf. But you can look at the pictures and you can actually think, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? And the kids are always questioning and wondering what's going to happen. It's a really cute story. It comes out really adorable at the end. I still love to read it. This is one of my favorite ones. This one is Visualizing. If you have not read this book, Night Song, oh my gosh, you have got to read this book. It's beautiful. I'll show you a little bit about it in just a little bit. But this is called Visualizing Bat because the story is about a little bat named Churro. And Churro actually goes and has to go out on his own one day to find his way. It's his first time by himself. So I teach the kids visualizing by reading the book to them, and they have to make these visualizations themselves first. And I take them through the whole series of how we actually can use a book and use the text without even looking at pictures and make a visual. And I have Connecting Spider with the Diary of a Spider. And obviously the spider goes to school one day, and the kids can connect to what things happened to him in gym class and things like that. Two Bad Ants, Chris Van Allsburg has to be like the best author for inferring. So Two Bad Ants is the book that I use for inferring ant. I also have The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. I know you've probably heard that one, but what a perfect story for teaching point of view and how it can change the ideas in a story. And then the last one is Theme Wolf. And I heard someone last night doing a Periscope about theme, and it was Mikey D. He was talking about how Theme Wolf, or theme, is actually misunderstood by so many people, that theme is actually not a word, but a lesson that is learned. So we all know the lesson behind The Boy Who Cried Wolf. But I have little animals, if you can see them, and each one is part of the story, and each one has a little special place. So all I have to do after we've read that book and gone through those strategies is pull that little animal or a picture of it, and they'll know what strategy it is, and they'll remember those things that they should be doing when they're reading in order to comprehend. So I also have, I'll go ahead and show you this. I learned how to make these charts at Staples. They're awesome. They're only $6 if you want to learn about that. I think I have that up on my blog too. But here's the overall one that I use. And this is the one that I have the lesson up on my blog at linktoteach.com. And it's Interrupting Chicken. It is the most adorable story ever. And this little chicken keeps interrupting his dad. But the kids actually learn that interrupting is a huge thing when reading, because your brain should always be thinking, predicting, wondering what's going to happen, and know when things are appropriate to say and when they're not to say. This little chicken's dad gets kind of upset with him in this story because he keeps interrupting his dad, and his dad's upset because he just wants him to go to bed. But what I've taught my kids is that we actually use these little chicken sticks, and they show me the little chicken stick when they can tell or when they want to say something about the story. So it's a polite way of interrupting. But then I get to hear what they're thinking. And we move from that to discussing to writing on our chart, and then they end up working in journals. So I'm hoping some of you catch this on the replay. If not, I'll keep working. I'll keep showing things to you. I wouldn't bring this to you if I hadn't already proven to myself and to parents and our special ed program that these strategies do work. They're fun, they're easy, and I've spent a lot of time researching them and working on them. So I've used them with many different age levels. I teach grades K through 5, and they've worked beautifully all the way up. I reteach them every year. The kids know them, and then I have more books that I expand upon with them, and I'll build those lists and keep searching for books for you to help you teach your kids how to comprehend with ease. So I'm glad that you caught the replay, because obviously nobody joined me, but that's okay. It's my first Periscope, and I'm cool with that. And go hop over my blog, see what you think, and if you have any questions, let me know. So thanks for joining me later.